Nova Guest List Podcast
with Kieran McGuinness.
The very best in indie, alternative and homegrown music from the seriously addictive Radio Nova.
That is the brilliant New Dad, and the song is Rubush, I think, or Rubiush, or something like that. And it's brilliant from them. And they're one of the fantastic acts that have been profiled and talked about and promoted on this fantastic channel called Genuine Irish. And Genuine Irish is one of a crop of kind of exciting online channels that are kind of promoting Irish music at the moment. And you've probably seen it, you know, on your Instagram or whatever. And it is something that's kind of getting more and more popular. And they're so good because they're so informal and they're so kind of warm and authentic, and it's just something that I think is a really, really positive thing for Irish music. We're very, very lucky because from Genuine Irish we have Anna Goldrick on the line. How's it going, Anna?
Hi, Kieran. How are things? Thanks so much for having me on. Love what you're doing, promoting the Irish music, same as ourselves, so it's really great to be on with you. Yeah,
no, it's a pleasure to have you. So you tell us a little bit about Genuine Irish.
Yeah, I suppose with Genuine Irish, what it is now is we're an independent music media platform that promotes music in Ireland. Kind of see ourselves as boots on the ground, fully DIY, candid, independent music journalists, and it's all for the love of music, of local music, and for the fun of it. We're not connected to any company or any group. It's just myself and my partner set it up a couple of years ago because we saw there was a bit of a missing piece here in Ireland with covering live gigs and doing interviews with local musicians. So we just kind of started doing it for a bit of crack, and that's where we are now.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing that I think comes across. It feels kind of authentic. It feels like you've just gone into the backstage. You've just kind of met them outside for a pint or whatever. It feels like that kind of informal chat, which is just really, really good because for a lot of bands, especially young bands and a lot of the bands you'd be talking to, it is a little overwhelming to go into a studio and then have to have your story, you know, whereas this feels much more kind of free, and then you get to know the bands better. So would you say you've kind of got a philosophy for what you do? There's loads of different types of videos and songs and clips that you've put up, but is there kind of a thing that ties it all together?
Yeah, I guess our philosophy would probably be it's for the love of the music, but it's also for the search for community within it as well. I'm from Galway myself, and myself and my partner lives here, and there's such a buzzing, flourishing music scene here, and through Genuine Irish and through doing this, we've built almost a little community for ourselves. I feel like it's gone even further afield out to the rest of Ireland, that we've got friends on all sides of the island now because Genuine Irish, and that's really where the reason behind we do it and the philosophy behind it is for the love of the music, but also to build a safe, loving and like-minded community.
Yeah, community is such a powerful word in this kind of context. What's your background?
My background, I am a musician. I don't have a note in my head, but I have been a music lover for as long as I can remember. My dad is a big music buff, so he kind of gave me that love for it. But I work as a sales rep for a kombucha company. That's what I do for my full-time job. Kombucha is the new, it's the new Guinness.
Yeah, well, I love watching the clips, and I love discovering new bands and seeing the personality. And sometimes the thing about new bands and bands that I don't know yet, like if I'm, you know, I've read the press release and it's either very serious or very kind of dramatic or whatever, or kind of overly professional or something that people feel like they need to do. But if I want to know about the band, then I go along to something like yourself and I watch the videos, and you know, I see people messing. There was a funny one with one of the bands, Bees and Sawdust, and they were, you know, a microphone thrown in front of them, and they just started laughing, and then one of them was like, we're all doing our best, and I just cracked up because it reminded me of being in a band for years, and just like, you know, the funniest things are the things that feel informal, and all the serious stuff always feels like you need to hit certain buttons and points and whatever else. Have you felt an impact from Genuine Irish?
Yeah, I think we have, because we've been doing it a good while now, just over 3 years. We've seen, even in that 3 years, bands we saw and met in that first year. Even New Dad, for an example, we met them probably 2.5 years ago now at this point. Madra was just coming out, and, you know, when you see where they are now and how good the new music sounds, the festivals they're playing, just the heights they're reaching, their growth, that's what, that fills us with pride, even just being a little part of that.
Yeah, no, it is. It's great to see that, and we're lucky enough to do that here. People come on the show and we chat to them, and that a really early point in their career, and then you chat to them as they go along, and it's amazing to see that progression and hear how they feel early to later. So we're talking to Anna from Genuine Irish, which is a brilliant online platform. It's on Instagram. It's Genuine Irish on Instagram. It's on TikTok, it's on YouTube and Spotify. You can find it there. But for a lot of bands who listen to this show, how do they send in their details and get on the show, or do you go out and find bands?
So for the interviews, it's kind of a two-way street. If we see a band playing in Galway, we could shoot them a DM, and vice versa. We would encourage people to let us know when they're playing in Galway as well, because we do our best to go to everything. So for the interviews, we would say shoot us a DM on Instagram, and then for our playlist, we would say send an email to us with all the info about your new music to genuineirishmusic@gmail.com, and we listen to everything that comes in.
Yeah, and as someone who listens to everything, that's not easy. So can you tell us about some kind of memorable kind of interviews that you've done? Yeah,
the first one that pops to my mind is probably when we met Sprint. I would say it must have been last summer. And we had been big Sprint fans before, so it was one of those interviews where we were a little bit nervous for, and we met Carla and Jack, and they couldn't have been more down to earth. Like, they were rock and roll as well. They had just come off a crazy amount of tour dates, and we filmed in a local pub. I won't name any names, and we nearly got booted in the middle of filming. So I don't know, were we too rowdy or they just didn't like us filming there? But that's one that jumps out to me when I think of memorable.
Yeah, and have you had anything where something has kind of just exploded off the clips? Like, they just had a normal chat and then something has been said and it really went viral?
Yeah, there's one that I can think that it was local band here from Galway. They're called Telebox, and it was one of the first interviews we decided to do outside, done kind of just at the top of the Long Walk in Galway. We did it with the lads there. Nothing unusual, and that blew up. I think it nearly has 1 million views on Instagram at this point.
Yeah.
So something like that, we always say it's unpredictable. We didn't do anything different in it. It's just where the audience took it online.
Yeah, sometimes it just a certain, connects with some algorithm or connects with some person, and then, it's mad, isn't it? It's mad. Yeah. You must see that all the time. Sometimes I'm sure you've done interviews and gone, this is going to go crazy, and then it hasn't, and, it's mad. It's kind of an alchemy, all that stuff, I think. But your kind of stock and trade, I guess, is chatting about Irish acts and being really on the pulse of the Irish scene and the new Irish music as well. Can you give us a couple of recommendations maybe of your kind of favourite Irish acts at the moment?
Yeah, so some of my favourite Irish acts at the moment would be a band from Donegal and Derry. They're called Tramp. They're like an indie rock kind of punk band. I saw them live for the first time a couple of months ago, and they were amazing. Another long-time favourite of mine would be Hot Girl. They're a band from Dublin. And Nerves are a really, really amazing noise rock band, and you have to see them live.
Amazing live, yeah, amazing live.
Yeah, amazing live. There's another band, Bees and Sawdust from Galway. They're doing something original as well. Lastly, I would say my favourite Irish band at the moment would be Shark School.
Fantastic. Shark School, love it. Well, let's play something by Shark School in a second. But first of all, thank you so much for chatting to us, Anna. Go and check out Genuine Irish. It's, whether you know the bands or you're looking for something new or you just want to be entertained, there's some brilliant, brilliant stuff up there on Genuine Irish. And you'll find it on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, Spotify, all those places. Anna, thank you so much for chatting to us today.
Thank you, Kieran. I really enjoyed that. Thanks so much.
Yeah, pleasure to have you. Keep up the fantastic work. Why don't we play something great by Shark School on Radio Nova?
The Nova Guest List Podcast with Kieran McGuinness. The very best in indie, alternative and homegrown music from the seriously addictive Radio Nova.